We're making a little YouTube video because we didn't see any way to take apart this control panel out there on YouTube, and it wasn't very obvious. This is a Frigidaire with the front controls, stove, and there's the part numbers. The first thing you're gonna be thinking is, oh, we can just lift this lid up. It's got a kickstand. Maybe start taking apart these screws. No, don't do that. And there's some screws under here. Don't touch those either. What you need to do is put all that away. And we're going to do this just by taking the knobs off and going after these bushings. But before you work on the stove, we'll just shut that off so that you don't have power to your stove. All right, and then what you do, you take a couple of screwdrivers and you just rotate these. And there's gonna be 4 of them. That's how you get into this stove. Oh, and I suppose I should have mentioned, why are we doing this? Because this element gets stuck in the on position. That's the front burner. That's probably the one that gets used the most. Why does it do that? Because this little switch gets worn out. Eventually it needs replacing, no big deal. Okay, now that just popped off, not so bad. And then we're going to go after these screws on both sides. Since you got the power cut, we can safely pull these wires loose. There we go, there's one, there's the other. So we're just taking out the 6 black screws. All right, we got the 6 screws out. And now we just flip that over. There we go. We flip it over, and now we can go after the parts that we're interested in. And we can unscrew these 2 to get the control loose. All right, now we can see, yep, the old one is pretty worn out. It's got some soot on it from all those millions of cycles. And then we pull the wires loose. Boink. Okay, and we are taking that one out. Don't lose this little piece. We've got the new switch, the old switch. Just got to mention something here. What you can do is go to Amazon, type in these part numbers off the old switch, and I ordered off Amazon and they sent me one that has different part numbers, but it's clearly the same animal. So I wouldn't sweat that. Make sure you order that part number or the part number you need. There are 2 sizes of switch because you got small elements and big elements. And do look for things like the current rating, 8.9 to 11 amps and about 2400 watts, 2136 or 2640, right in that range. And generally get a good feeling that you've got a match. You can buy these on Amazon or eBay. You might score a deal on a used one. We paid about $40, partly because of that part number, but then they sent us one that technically doesn't have the same part number, but clearly is the right thing. Go ahead. And then we gotta find our orientation here. Drop that back in. There we go. And put the 2 screws back out. Yep. Now we tighten these 2 screws in. And then we're going to reattach these wires. Alright, and now we're tightening back in the 6 screws. And as a rule of thumb, this burner probably gets used the most. Probably replace that switch first. In the future, if some others fail, maybe by then replace the other 3. By replacing just one, we didn't spend too much, and it'll probably keep running for a while without any further service. All right, we're getting close, and I lied. There is a reason to lift the cooktop up. It's this little strip of rubber material, and if you look on the end of that rubber material, it's not quite the same. And I think the thicker this thicker half goes to the upper outer edge. And you got two possibilities here. You could put some tape on that, or if you got enough people with enough hands, you can just, everybody use their fingers to get this back down and have that rubber material be where it belongs. Don't forget to put these little terminals back on, or you'll have to do things twice. Okay, now we're just putting these little pieces back on there. Not so bad. Do all four of them. So now we're getting close, but since this burner was stuck on all the time, it kind of turns the metal a new color. So we got on eBay, and for $20 you can buy a set. They're called 6" by 8" strip pins, and that will help us to finish up the job in style. Yep. Set of 4, that's the way to do it. Oh, that's looking better. Turn the power back on. Okay. That little switch turns on the oven light. Pans look much better. Yep, I think we're all finished up. The burners are working. We're checking each burner. Did that one get hot too?
Yep.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, just like brand new.